Hey, Dismembers, it's Mindy. You might know me as a professional chaos wrangler. 20 plus years in government and media relations, which basically means I've been paid to smile when people yelled at me, answer phones I should have let to go to voicemail, and sit through meetings that could have been solved by a single sticky note. I've survived budget hearings, angry town halls, and more reply all disasters than any human deserves. But here's the truth. No amount of bureaucracy, bad coffee, or crisis comms training really prepares you for stepping into the world of unidentified and missing persons. These aren't just cases you read in a report. They're real people with lives that suddenly stopped, violently, or sometimes mysteriously. And what's left behind? Families desperate for answers, investigators chasing shadows, and in too many cases, silence. That's why we're here. Because while these stories can be grim, they also matter. And if I've learned anything in my career, that's that sometimes the darkest subjects need a little light.
Amen.
And yeah, maybe even a laugh or two to keep us going.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to laugh. So buckle up, Dismembers. We're about to walk that fine line between tragedy and absurdity. And if you catch yourself laughing at the wrong moment, don't worry. We're right here with you laughing too.
That's for sure. Hey there, Dismembers. I'm Dr. Nici. I've worked in the forensic anthropology, death investigation, and crime scene analysis field for over 30 years. I've been invited into people's homes on the worst days of their lives. Not by these people personally, but by the law enforcement agencies investigating their homicides. I've dug miles of holes and hiked through canyons to find missing people. And I've sifted through garbage, crawled through cellars, and stepped over a mountain of party in the rear porno magazines to find clues as to who stole someone's life away too soon. Physical evidence and crime scenes were my bread and butter during my time working at the crime lab. But human skeletons will always be my jam, as you probably know by now. I couldn't be happier examining skeletal material and scrutinizing the possibilities of who the person on the gurney in front of me could have been and how they came to be in my care. Through bone analysis, autopsy findings, and death investigations, I've witnessed the inhumane and frankly bizarre things people can do to each other. And I've also witnessed the incredibly humane and committed ways folks in law enforcement investigate those crimes. Hey, needless to say, I've seen a bunch of things. Now, we want to make sure you see the behind-the-scenes effort it takes to identify these people, bring them home, and deliver justice. It's true, Mindy, because if we aren't laughing, we're crying.
Exactly.
All right, Dismembers. So you heard about Mindy's disaster-filled first day on one of our last episodes. Now it's my turn to spill the tea about my very first crime scene. And spoiler alert, it was an absolute shit show.
Oh, hell yes. I am all ears. Because if your first crime scene was anything like my first day at work, it better come with some wild ass stories. Maybe some tannerite.
Oh,
I mean, come on. And at least one body.
always a body. So, my darling Mindy, buckle up and let me paint the picture of the ride we're all going on today. This was 1999, Columbia County, Oregon. I was fresh as a daisy, literally barely into the first part of my crime scene training. Only 3 modules completed in an 8-module crime scene analysis training manual. And by the way, that's how uncomplicated things were back in 1999. The entire crime scene training manual was only 8 modules. I knew how to log my time into my duty notebook. That was module number 1. And no, we didn't do any of this electronically. I literally had one of those little flip notebooks you see cops writing in. Yeah, they gave it to crime scene analysts also. Module number 2 was how to handle bloodborne pathogens and use universal precautions. And module number 3 was the safety precautions on opening the retractable sliding truck bed in the crime scene truck, which was a gargantuan Ford F-350 long bed. I can't remember the year of the truck. I remember the year I was there, 1999. These were considered the basics because Lord knows my agency needed to know how to track my time. And that's number 1. Make sure I didn't give myself hepatitis B, number 2, or didn't knock my own teeth out with the sliding truck bed, which was, in fact, right about face height for most of us girls on the crime scene team.
So I'm just picturing it, a total infant then,
Yeah.
right? Baby Nici.
Exactly. So, yeah, pooping in my pants and everything, literally and figuratively. That's not too far from the truth. And you'll understand why when I tell you the tale. My coach that night was a senior member of the crime scene team. And he was battling a cold so bad, he couldn't even take a full breath without breaking into uncontrollable coughing. So it was kind of gross and super sad. And I felt horrible for him, but not the most clean fellow to have walking around a crime scene for sure. He was a moving, breathing source of DNA contamination. And as if that wasn't bad enough, he couldn't drive the Ford F-350 that I had never driven before, as he had taken a pint full of NyQuil before we left for the crime scene.
Oh, God.
So I got the call from a supervisor saying, time to get your baby ass to a crime scene around 1:30 a.m. Again, remember, this was my very first crime scene call. So the phone rang, 1:30 a.m. There's my supervisor. So my mentor and I met at the lab to gather all of our crime scene gear and hop into the Ford F-350. So how he drove himself to the crime lab is beyond me. But that's another story, I'm sure.
Statute of limitations was up. He's fine.
It's gone. It's fine. And so I was immediately put on driving duty. I'm now in charge of driving us to a crime scene in a county I had only seen on a map with a NyQuil zombie as my mentor.
And probably that's way before Google Maps.
My God. Yeah. We had what was it called? A Thompson guide?
Thompson guide.
I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't a hard scene to find once I meandered my way through the neighborhood that I thought the address was at, because there were blue and red lights everywhere. Then at 2:30 in the morning, which must have been a lovely sight for the neighbors, right? That's always
they're all standing on their front porches.
Always a fun time.
Gawking at just what's going on.
You're part of a crime scene that way, for sure. Anyway, the deputy standing at the crime scene tape at the end of the driveway of the crime scene recognized the truck as the, quote unquote, forensic nerds, and they let us into the scene. Once I parked the truck somewhere that wasn't in the way, my trainer promptly passed out in the back of the truck for most of the scene. I felt terrible for him. He was either swaying around in the scene, stepping in the big fat blood pool in the living room, or literally asleep in the back of the Ford. I felt terrible for him, but I felt more terrible for me because I needed some serious fucking help that night.
Right. I mean, I know you. I would be 100% confident in your abilities, but Jesus, that's some dedication right there for you to dig in and know what you got to do.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your confidence, but wait, it gets better. We roll up to that scene and I park. We get out of the truck, and the first cop we meet is this fresh-faced baby detective named Travis Hampton. He looked about 19, probably just got out of the academy. You know the type, super energetic, kind of manic, and way too awake for the time it was. Probably, again, around 2:45 in the morning at this point. Guaranteed he was as terrified as I was.
Oof. I remember that rookie energy, right? We still, I remember all of the rookies that came through my office.
So new.
And again, you two toddlers were literally feeding off each other.
I know.
So anxious on top of anxious, I'm sure.
If he had started crying, I would have lost it too, for sure. So there we are, 2 babies and a zombie, and some other law enforcement as well. Here's the actual crime scene we responded to that night. A female is dead, slumped back in a chair with her head kind of flung back, gun in her lap. The back half of her head is gone. It's not gone. It's everywhere. It's all over one whole half of the living room. Her husband claims she shot herself. But right off the bat, something about the angle of everything, kind of the way she was sitting, the way her head was sitting, the spatter all over the adjacent walls is just, it's just off. So, like, my very inexperienced brain was kind of squeaking at me. It was saying, I don't know, but I don't think so. But as you can imagine, I have zero experience and even less confidence in my abilities at this point. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I can pull out that sliding storage rack in the F-350, but not much else. The crime scene is super dark. We're in this very shady neighborhood in the depths of Columbia County. My trainer is over medicated.
Right.
I literally feel like a tiny little baby and way, way, way over my head. I knew I needed to stay and do my job because this poor lady doesn't look right and she deserves justice. And well, obviously she doesn't look right because she's dead.
Right.
Right.
And again, first instincts, especially for you, are usually right.
That's right.
You probably knew deep down in your soul she may not have shot herself. And then I'm betting you probably wanted to run far, far away.
Yeah.
Very quickly. Sprinting out of earshot and finding your way back to your own house probably seemed like a reasonable strategy.
That's a good bet. Certainly. Yeah. I'm like, I was so stressed. My ears were buzzing. I was so stressed out. I couldn't even hear anything. I tried to calm down, gather my thoughts, start documenting the crime scene. But how the hell do you concentrate when there's a guinea pig squealing his poor little lungs out in the living room?
Not a guinea pig.
Oh, Mindy, I'm sorry. Did I not mention that part?
Not yet.
Okay, yeah. So get this, and I'm not shitting you. This actually happened. Travis Hampton will back me up. The guinea pig was in the house, in the living room, in a very large terrarium up along one of the living room walls right next to the chair and the dead lady. There was blood spatter and brain matter all across the front of the glass terrarium that held the guinea pig. But the guinea pig wasn't alone, and it wasn't squealing just to drive all the humans in the room crazy. There was a huge ass snake in the terrarium too, thus the squealing. I didn't even know guinea pigs squealed until that night.
What? Who in the fuck thinks that's a good idea?
Well,
even if somebody wanted to kill themselves or was killed, let's feed the snake first.
They weren't thinking about us.
Right?
For sure. They probably weren't they weren't expecting guests in their home that night. And well, I mean, you have to feed your snake, right?
Yeah.
And if your snake is the size of one of the ponderosa pines in the front yard, rats are just not going to cut the mustard at that point. So these fine people had been feeding this snake a dinner of champions, which apparently was a guinea pig. It's so horrific. Even as I talk about it now, I have chills. So much larger, so much tastier, I suppose, than rats or mice is a guinea pig. When we all collectively realized that the guinea pig was supposed to be the snake's meal, it just took the scene to a whole new level of disturbing. It was awful. I remember sweating. I was so stressed. So disturbing. Again, sprinting away seemed like a way better choice than staying at that point.
I mean, come on, poor guinea pig.
No.
You never really factor in, say, the noise of a crime scene or the smells of crime scenes. Can't really show the smell on TV, can they?
Yeah, those shows are, let's say, not realistic. Also known as highly dramatized. Also known as it just does not fucking work like that. CSI Miami. Have you ever noticed, Mindy, that there was never like a CSI Pacific Northwest?
I mean, come on, there should be.
I know. I think that's because Rain Parker's And Danner boots are in no way, shape, or form considered sexy.
I mean, come on. I can make a Danner boot.
Yeah, I know that. I know you can.
Come on.
That's that's always kind of pissed me off about CSI. And I'm sure crime scene analysts in Vegas, Miami, and what? I don't know. I guess New York probably also rolled their eyes at the sexified way they were portrayed on those shows. But believe me, crime scene analysts, if you're listening out there, and death investigators, I see you. I see you. I see you in your Danner boots.
And parkas.
And parkas. Hey, sorry, I digress. That night, my marching orders were to figure out if the gunshot wound angle in her head and trajectory of the bullet in the wall was consistent with the blood spatter pattern on the front of the glass terrarium based on the victim's position in the room, the way she ended up in the chair, and the angle of the entrance and exit wounds. So basically, could the spatter on the glass terrarium have been caused by her shooting herself while she was in the position we found her? Or was she shot at a different angle, causing the spatter? And secondarily, in my head, and maybe in your head too, as you're listening to this, could the gun really have ended up neatly in her lap like that? Have you ever tried photographing blood spatter and brain matter, for that matter, on glass in the middle of the night when it's dark? And when you haven't had your camera training yet.
You haven't fit.
That's a big deal.
That module.
That's a big deal. With a screaming guinea pig about 2 feet away also is a factor, let alone a huge snake in the picture. I can't even remember what kind of snake it was. I think I blacked out at that point.
No, but I imagine trying to take a picture of something on glass in the dark is like trying to take a selfie in a funhouse mirror at midnight, right? Maybe. But then that's giving funhouses a bad rap. We are fine with funhouses in general.
Sure.
And we definitely love the fair.
Oh, God, I love the fair.
This was no county fair.
No.
But it was basically your first rodeo.
It was my first rodeo, God. Give me a funhouse any day, right? It was literally my first rodeo. So I had to improvise with this whole picture taking thing. I took a towel, I shoved it on the inside of the terrarium. I clipped it to the top edge of the terrarium to block the reflection of the flash. And I placed the flash at an angle, like an oblique angle, so it wouldn't blow out the picture by reflecting in the glass. The guinea pig is still screaming its head off. It's still inside the terrarium. So is the snake. And the snake's probably thinking, dinner is served. And I'm trying not to lose my mind. Remember, this is like constant sound, constant squealing, constant screaming by this guinea pig.
I mean, come on. This totally sounds like some serious horror movie shit. Like we should maybe pitch this idea.
Or sitcom, right?
Ooh, sitcom. Right?
I mean, it's laughable to me right now.
Now.
And I swear to God, I'm not making this up. Ask baby detective Hampton. I swear the victim was seated also close to the terrarium because the spatter's right there on the terrarium. So then there's this massive pool of blood on the floor we were trying and failing to avoid stepping in. And remember, the husband and wife, our dead lady, by the way, had left dinner cooking on the stove. So it also smelled like burnt food.
Oh, God. Add that in. That smell. Hard to believe your idea of the smell of death is basically burnt macaroni and cheese.
Oh, God.
That's tragic.
It is.
Or not. It is macaroni and cheese, at least.
I know.
I mean, even burnt macaroni and cheese is still macaroni and cheese.
I know. So many smells at a crime scene. Why did it have to be macaroni and cheese burnt, right? I know. Meanwhile, I had my crime scene kit, which is basically a plastic toolkit or like a tackle box with a bunch of drawers in it. I had that staged out in the driveway, and I'm going back and forth loading up on film and talking true film canisters,
not digital people.
No, not little cards, not little memory cards, true canisters of film, stuffing shit into my cargo pants pockets, taking deep breaths, trying to stay calm, the works. Then some dude strolls up, basically appearing out of the darkness in the driveway, and starts asking me how long I'll be there, how things are going. I can't tell who he is, Mindy. If he's law enforcement, if he's a neighbor, I just can't tell. He just starts talking to me.
Right? No fucking way. I mean, this is a crime scene. People,
Yeah.
they're usually blocked off. There's law enforcement trying to keep people out. But this guy, where did he come from? Just popping out right out of the bushes?
Yeah, in my mind, he emerged out of nowhere from the bushes.
You are a little frazzled, but
I am a little tender at this point, and it's 3:30 in the morning. I mean, there were people around, but everyone else was wearing a uniform, right? Meanwhile, baby detective Hampton, he's gonna hate the fact that I call him that.
there. I love it. I hope he's listening.
Baby detective Hampton sees this guy striking up a conversation with me, flies off the porch of the house, and basically commands him, "Hey, Chad." I just made that name up.
I'm sure it wasn't.
I guarantee it wasn't Chad. Let's call him Chaz. Hey,
Chaz.
Chaz, stop talking to the crime lab people. They have work to do. We'll release the scene back to you once we're done.
Oh, so Chaz
Chaz.
was the husband. Chad was the creeper driveway guy, was the person you guys probably thought may have actually shot his own wife. If, let's say, if the blood patterns didn't add up.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I'm just standing there chit-chatting with the guy who supposedly just lost his wife to suicide, or maybe not.
I mean, sounds like maybe not.
Chaz.
But yeah, that has got to mess with your head a little bit,
That's
right?
a made-up name.
I know. That's fine.
Well, you know me. I've never met a stranger.
True.
So
Chatty Cathy.
I chatted him up for sure. But honestly, I was too dumb and new to fully process it. So yes, I chit-chatted with him. And I was just trying not to screw up the photos and survive the screaming guinea pig, for sure.
So after that hot mess, did you think, yep, this is my new career? Or hell fucking no, I am goddamn out.
Well,
this is too much.
Yeah, honestly, at the time, I was terrified. But adrenaline does crazy things to your logical thinking skills, as you well know.
I know.
Yes. I mean, the madness, the chaos, the weird shit, then the science of it all, the puzzling it all out. It was exactly what I didn't know I needed. Plus, who else gets paid overtime to see this level of human weirdness and debauchery? It was awesome and terrifying all in the same night, and I couldn't get enough.
And crazy. And amen to that, right? You were behind the crime scene tape for the first time, and that's got to be scary, yet so exhilarating. You got a glimpse at what the general public knows virtually nothing about at this point.
Yes.
And again, over dramatized movies, but some of that shit, the crazier shit really happens.
Yeah, you can't make it up. It's true.
Nope.
So that night, between the NyQuil zombie coach, screaming rodents, bonding with other fellow toddlers, and suspect small talk, I knew my life was forever changed. Absolutely. I knew I had found my why.
Oh, that's so stupid.
That's complete bullshit. I was hooked because it was fascinating. It was scientific. It was tedious. It was everything. And I wanted justice for the victim also. And that feeling never went away, Mindy, even after 30 years of doing this kind of work.
Right. And thank God for that, because otherwise, who else would put up with your shit?
Oh, I love you. Silly Mindy. It's kind of true, though. Yep. Really, only dead people and law enforcement are the people that get me.
Oh, me too.
Those are my people, my peeps, my tribe. Hell, I even married a cop.
Of course you did.
I mean, he's hot and smart and a great guy, but he also understood that it wasn't the slot machines that were keeping me out of the house on Christmas or Thanksgiving or Tuesday on a February night. It's a good match, he and I, and finding justice for victims is just the kind of motivation I needed to get me through the next 3 decades.
3 decades
of this kind of work, for sure.
I mean, preach, sister.
Yeah.
Same here. You're my partner in crime and in crime scenes.
Thank you.
But this is the end of this podcast, is it? We can't end this without you telling us what the actually figured out that night. What you actually figured out that night. Did she shoot herself? Was it a homicide? Did the baby detective Hampton ever grow up?
Well, good news and bad news.
Damn it.
The bad news for our listeners, our dismembers. I really must have blocked out what happened then because I honestly can't remember how this case turned out.
I mean, 3 decades. I don't
I
blame you.
would love to
come
tell you
on.
all, I swear. One of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office guys did rescue the guinea pig before
That's
it got
what's important.
eaten.
That is
Yes.
what's important.
So there's a happy ending for you. Also, my NyQuil zombie mentor did recover from his cold. He worked on the crime scene team for a few more years before retiring a happy dude. Also good news. But for the life of me, I can't remember if we ruled it a suicide at that point or what the forensic pathologist determined was the cause and manner of death based on the autopsy. I just can't remember. I know I attended the autopsy to take pictures, but the only thing that clings to my psyche is that completely effed up scene and the guinea pig. I mean, it's kind of all the story. That's it.
It is. It's a guinea pig. That's an abnormal, freakish horror movie.
Right. So the other piece of good news, besides the guinea pig being rescued,
Okay.
the baby detective did grow up to become the actual superintendent of the Oregon State Police. Go ahead, peeps. Look up Travis Hampton, and you'll find that he survived that night and literally went on to greatness.
Greatness.
He was a fine detective to work with, and he was a great superintendent.
one of the best.
Yeah. Maybe we should ask him if he remembers how that scene turned out. He might. Maybe for a future podcast. He's retired now, dismembers, but we still have his personal cell phone number.
Well, let's be honest. I have his phone number. I don't think you have it.
Okay. You're right.
I'll reach out and see if he's up for it.
Mhm.
He may have blocked that scene out of his mind like you did too. I'm just relieved you both survived.
Well, we were toddlers.
You were toddlers and you both became amazing investigators and had long, illustrious careers.
Thank you.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough one. That was a tough night. Thank God we survived it.
Thank God you survived. All right, dismembers, that's a wrap on part 2 of the good, the bad, and the decomp. Do you got questions? Wild stories? Send us your DMs. Want more info on the agencies and cases we dish about? Want to see a picture of baby detective Travis Hampton with his funny trooper hat on?
Oh, please.
You know I have many.
We're posting that.
Come on. Check out our website and socials. We got all the links and goodies there.
I love the links and goodies that you put on our website, Mindy. Please go in. Hey, here's the thing. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Go to our website. Click on Travis Hampton's picture when he's got his funny trooper hat on. We want you here and we want you as a dismember. So, Mindy, you and I have a dinner date tonight.
Yes,
and
we
we're
do.
going to drink a little bit and tell some more stories to each other, but let's not have mac and cheese. How does that sound?
I can agree to not have mac and cheese.
Because who knows if they're going to burn it. I'm thinking they won't. It's a great restaurant we're going to. Speaking about meeting up, do you have a recommendation on a good location with great lighting, no guinea pigs, no terrariums,
Right.
that's bound to get us ready to tell more sordid tales about the funky things that happen during our careers?
Nici, I know just the place. How about you meet me at the morgue?